Hi everybody, this is Michaela. I had originally intended to record the meeting that we had this last Sunday, but the camera decided to stop rolling after like 10 minutes. So a little less professional version of me at home, kind of like we did a little over a year ago, doing meetings from my house. But I'll try to keep this short and quick, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or text me or call me or find me at church. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the application process and the live scan form for the fingerprinting that all volunteers have to do. I know some of you have already been volunteering and some of you have not quite been in the classrooms yet, but either way, if you have not filled out an application and questionnaire form, as well as the live scan sheet, and have had that turned in with your fingerprint, you are technically not allowed to be in the classroom with the kids. It's a matter of legality. If we were to be in some unfortunate situation where like authorities, police had to be involved, and we didn't have everything in place with that, the church could get fined quite heftily, where it would actually more than likely just dissolve the church. Like it's pretty serious. So if you have not been fingerprinted, please get that finished soon. And if you have not applied physically with a copy of this here and have turned it in, I need that for you to be in the classroom as well. I can email these. I've already emailed them out a few times, but if you need another email of it again, or if you just want a hard copy, please let me know, and we'll get that sorted away. If you're unsure, if you haven't been fingerprinted or have had the application in, let me know as well. Pastor Dan and I are going to go through a very old filing cabinet with probably 15 years worth of volunteers in there, and kind of sort out all the ones that either need to be redone, re-edited or revised, and just thrown out if they're really old, but shredded first because it is personal information. So yes, please let me know about that as soon as possible. Secondly, this meeting was originally intended to be a meeting where I was going to give everyone a little tour of what the new classroom looks like, but that is not what this meeting is at all, because the classroom's not finished yet. We've been doing some construction work on the original K through 2nd and 3rd through 5th room by taking out the middle wall between them to make one big classroom. But we've been waiting for the go-ahead to put a big supporting beam in the middle of that because it's not structurally sound. If there was like an earthquake that happened, the roof would probably collapse. So we finally got approval for that, and as of yesterday, which is Thursday the 14th, we should have that beam in place, and I think like 2 little tiny 3-foot walls on either side had to be built so it's structurally sound. And hopefully in the next few weeks we'll get paint, new ceilings, and carpet. And after that, then we can start pursuing moving back into the classrooms. It was my hope that we'd already be there at this point, but you know, things happen. The Lord is still good, and we still have the youth room to use, but looking forward to being in that classroom. The preschool room, so we are opening up preschool again, and that will be this coming November. And I wanted to do a little tour of the preschool room as well, especially for those of you who have not done preschool before, or maybe preschool in a while. That way everybody knows where everything is. I'm going to be just making probably a video of that so everybody can watch it at their leisure, and then I'll show in person as well. I'm going to, this next week, plan a day to just clean and tidy up the preschool room because we haven't used it in over almost 2 years now. It's been a long time since we've been in there. So I'm just gonna clean it up, see what we need, and then I'll make a tour of kind of how the classroom goes so that everybody knows where everything's at. And again, you can ask me about any questions regarding that. Hopefully this future video will answer all those questions though. And one last thing regarding the K through 5th classroom, once the fresh coat of white paint is on the wall and the carpets are done and the ceiling's finished, I'm going to start those murals, and I will be needing some assistance if anybody wants to. painting those. I'm also going to ask some of the younger middle school girls and high school girls if they'd like to help, or boys, but I just know a few girls who happen to love to paint. So if anybody is interested in that, please put that in the back of your head, back of your thoughts, probably not the back of your head, and keep that in mind as that date approaches. And we'll be moving into the classroom as soon as possible, so that way the youth room can be renovated too. The next thing I wanted to talk about was scheduling. In the email that I sent out for this video, I have attached the official schedule for the time being. My goal is to have this as a set schedule. So if your name is right here, then it'll say the Sunday that you're serving, the first, second, or third, or fourth Sunday. And then it'll show you the classroom that you'll be in. So preschool, nursery, or K through 5th. And then it will show you the title that you'll have, which is either a teacher or a helper. And if anything that's on the schedule is not what you would like, or you thought it was going to be something different, just let me know. But I tried to tailor it to everyone's specific desires. If they wanted to teach, they just wanted to help, what specific grade that they wanted to teach, and what Sunday they preferred. So this will be a set schedule, so you'll always remember I'm the first Sunday of the month all the time. That's what I'm doing, and I'm in the preschool room and I'm helping out. So that way it's just very streamlined. And of course, if you can't serve on the day that you're assigned, then I would appreciate letting me know that, so that I can find a replacement for you very quickly. Although it also is a good idea to get the phone numbers of people who are also serving. I'm going to try to get like a platform where everybody could just have everyone's information so we can all communicate with each other. So you can reach out to people and switch days if possible. But if that's not possible, you can always just, again, text or call me or email me, and I can try to rearrange that and we'll make it work. But for now, it'll be a set schedule. The fourth thing I wanted to go to was the curriculum. So we have, I believe, found the curriculum that we would like to use. It's not been approved yet, just because we have to purchase it and make sure that it goes along with what Pastor Rob and Dan would like. So, and what I would like, of course, but basically we're going to be pursuing using Grace curriculum, which is the curriculum that John MacArthur uses at his church. I narrowed it down to a few of them, and this looks like the one we might be using. It's going to be something we can use for the preschoolers as well as the K through 5th class. There are different sections of each lesson where there's like questions that you can ask that are pertaining to the age group you're talking to, already laid out. There's a gospel spotlight where it showcases the gospel for each story that you're teaching. And then it also comes with activity ideas and coloring sheets, all that sort of stuff. So it's already planned and ready to go. This will lessen the load on me a little bit because I've been trying to write some sort of curriculum for the last year, or not really curriculum, but some sort of lesson plan, since our current curriculum doesn't have any lesson plan. And it'll also just be easier for you guys to be able to have something that's good guidelines, and then you can be creative on top of that on how you want to teach the class. I'm going to be, once we officially purchase and use the curriculum, I'm going to be making a training video on how to use it so that everybody can watch it at their leisure and understand how it works. Because I want to learn how it works as well. I've only ever just seen it on the computer. So once it's ordered, I'll learn how it works. I'll make a video and send it out to everybody so they know exactly how to use it. And I'm hoping that will be in December. I would prefer me to make the video by November. It just depends on getting approval for things and getting that in order. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be really awesome to have a new curriculum. I'm very much looking forward to that. I also wanted to touch on the November and December schedules. I already sent the schedules out and the the lesson number out. I have not attached any sort of lesson plan for both those months. And the reason is, one, so I could just have a break from writing them. And then two, I'm just going to be emailing each individual team of a teacher and 2 helpers for their specific week. Just a few little prompts to get you started. I have not planned any specific crafts or games, though I'm more than willing to help out on those. So if you need assistance with that, totally let me know. I can brainstorm with you and we'll get something together. If you have an idea that you already come up with or you found something that you like, please let me know if I need to get any materials needed for the Sunday that you're teaching. We do have various materials at the church, but right now they're all scattered throughout the youth room and in storage. Yes, that's very true, Asher. And we're kind of revamping that, but please let me know if you do need anything and I will make sure to get that to you on your Sunday. Asher wants to join us for this last half. Lest she should cry. So, November and December overview. So I think I made this semi-clear in the email, but just in case I didn't, the November schedule for the K through 5th graders is going to be centered on specifically sharing the gospel message. I chose 4 lessons from our current curriculum, and they're tailored to sharing the gospel and what the gospel is. That way the kids are just, it's hammered into them what the gospel is for a month. And for November for preschoolers, I chose some lessons that are more centered around thankfulness as a theme. And they're just very simple lessons. Well, actually, they are simple lessons, and then there's a coloring page that is not from our curriculum, but it had to do with the lesson a little bit. And it's also should be gospel centered for sure, but the theme will be thankfulness, since that age group typically does better with some repetition back to back. And then for December, it's obviously going to be Christmas themed, so there's some Christmas themed lessons for that as well. And I haven't planned any specific crafts or games or anything like that for Christmas either, but I have lots of ideas for that, but feel free to share your ideas and let me know again if you need any materials for that. Also, if you see me that I keep looking up, it's because I'm looking at my notes on the computer so I can remember what to tell you guys. So the 5th thing on the list that I have is about pumpkin carving. So for those of you who haven't heard in the announcements on Sundays, or maybe our Instagram and Facebook page, which if you haven't followed them, please follow the Calvary Kids Napa Facebook and Instagram page. We announced that we're going to have a pumpkin carving party. It'll be our 3rd one in a row, aside from actually we did do it last year. So 3rd one in a row. And this year it's going to be a little bit more than just pumpkin carving. We'll have the regular pumpkin carving out in the little grassy area by the youth room. And then we're also going to have story time. I have it right here. I bought this book, The Life of Martin Luther pop-up book. So cool. And I also bought a second book just in case whoever's reading likes it better. Did Martin Luther go on a diet of worms? Asher's very excited about it. Because, Reformation Day is Halloween, and I think it'd be important to have a little bit of a history lesson from a Christian perspective on Halloween, which is often celebrated in a way that's not God-honoring. Not by everybody, of course, but I thought it'd be nice to throw this in a little bit just with a Christian perspective on that specific day. And I do have, I think Jessica Rainey volunteered to read for the kids, so that will be awesome. We're also going to have some other little booths where they can win candy. Really simple. I can explain those the day of. But what I will need help with is setting up and breaking down everything. So if anyone has a desire to help with that, it's going to be on Saturday, October 30th, so the day before Halloween, and which is also Sunday. And I'll just be needing help with the different activities that we have, with the little games and things, making sure that kids have what they need if they're carving pumpkins. And parents always come, so they'll also be around to help their own kids as well. But the setup and breakdown team will be the biggest need for that day. Okay, the sixth thing that I have for you guys is Christmas songs. I'd like to do another little performance like we did with the kids a couple years ago. I'm not very well versed in planning those types of things, so I did ask everyone at the meeting if you have an ear for that or a desire to do that. I would love the help with leading that. I already had a couple people step forward, but the more the merrier. I'm still looking to pick out some Christmas songs. I haven't chosen them yet, but I'm hoping to have them by next week. So that way we can start practicing with the kids every week before the Sunday before Christmas. So I'll keep everyone updated on that, but that is something I would like to do this year because everybody always looks forward to seeing the kids singing for Christmas service. The kids seem to like it too. Some of them don't, but most of them like it. So we'll be looking forward to that. We ended the meeting with a few minutes for Q&A. There were quite a few questions. I probably won't remember all of them, but I do remember some of them. One of them was regarding training for security purposes, because there is quite a lot that we have to be attentive to, even if it's just children's ministry a couple hours a week. So that way we don't, again, get in trouble if something were to happen. We want to make sure all of our bases are covered. So there was a question that came up about training in the future, like a security training day. And I think that is such a great idea, and it's something that I've thought about before. It just hasn't happened yet. So we're going to be looking into doing something like that so people understand what to look for if there's someone in the classroom who's not supposed to be there, like what to look out for that. If someone's trying to pick up a child and it's not their child, even things like going to the bathroom and what the procedure looks like for that, just all sorts of little things that are really important involving children's ministry. So I'll that's in my back pocket to do something about that this next year, sooner rather than later. It's just not quite on the top priority list. It is on the priority list because obviously make sure our kids are safe is priority, but we're just trying to get a few other ducks in the row, and then we'll make something happen with that. There's also a question about signing in children. I am actively looking for better ways to sign in our kids so it's safe, effective, and it's not just mundane filling out stuff every single week, especially if they're consistent children coming. But for the time being, I want to start implementing that the parents have to sign the children in if they're in there. This is for legal purposes, and siblings cannot sign their children, the kids in themselves and sign them out. Only the parents can, or whoever the adult is that is in charge of those kids. That is something I probably should have been better about this last year. I haven't been. That's my own fault, but I need to start implementing that. This is also important for new volunteers who don't know the parents to kids. So we need to have that very consistent. So please be doing that, making sure that the parents are signing in the kids and not the siblings. I'm trying to think about other questions. There were just little questions here and there about routine in the classroom and future trainings and stuff like that. So if there are any specific questions that any of you watching this have, just text them or email them to me. But those were the two that I think stood out to me the most. There's probably more I've forgotten since then, and unfortunately it was not recorded. The last thing that I did with everyone for the training video was also for the newer volunteers who have not yet volunteered in the classroom just a crash course of some basics for the classroom. I'd like this to be a little bit more routine, I guess you could say, where I would actually take you through this process a little bit more slowly, but just for the sake of having a quick video, I wanted to point out a few details. So the first thing was the check-in and check-out system. I don't have one with me, unfortunately, but there is a sign-in sheet that the parents sign in and out their kids on. And that's just temporarily what we're using to sign in our kids. Again, I'd like to change that in the future. But there's a spot for the child's name, their age, and their parents' name and email. Or not email, sorry, their phone number. Phone number is really important so we know who to contact in case there is some emergency or something going wrong in class so we can contact the parent. There's also a section where there's either dietary restrictions or allergies. So some of the kids do have allergies in our class, and we have to be aware of that because we do serve snack. The kids are really good about knowing their allergies, but especially if there's a new kid, we'd like to know what allergies there are. There's also a little checkbox that they were picked up by the parents. That is really important that that box is checked so we know that the kid is with the parent and we are no longer watching them. So it's a pretty simple system right now, but again, it'll be more streamlined in the future. Security, I went over that a little bit earlier, having a security training day, but we do try to have a couple ushers walking around the premises, making sure there's nobody weird hanging out outside the classroom trying to look in. We do try to keep blinds closed so nobody can see in who's not supposed to. We also try to keep doors locked from the inside so nobody can get in who's not supposed to. Teachers are only allowed, or helpers are only allowed to open the door if someone knocks. That is it. Always check before you open the door to make sure it's whoever's supposed to be there. Bathroom breaks. Only women can take people to the bathroom, well, children to the bathroom. And you have to knock on the door of the bathroom stall, or not the bathroom stall itself, but the bathroom. Make sure that nobody is in the bathroom with the children. If there is someone in there, then the kid has to wait. And if there is someone even just, not even in the stall with them, we have to wait till the whole thing is cleared. If you are a woman taking a child to the bathroom who is a boy and you don't want to check in the men's restroom, you can always ask an usher. They should be around in the sanctuary or like the little foyer area. Just ask them to walk in, make sure it's clear, and then you can send the child in. This is for safety purposes. And then just a quick role of the teacher and helper. It's very simple. The teachers teach, the helpers help. But I will be having more streamlined definitions of what those two positions are, especially with the new curriculum. My goal when we have our new classroom is to keep the kindergarten through 5th grade classes combined, and they're all taught the same story from a teacher. But then after they're taught the story together, they separate into two groups, K through 2nd and 3rd through 5th. And there will be one volunteer with each of those groups leading in some age-appropriate questions regarding the lesson. So that way we can all learn together, but then we also have our separate time with our appropriate age group, and then we can come back together and do activities, snack, craft together, however that looks. So the basic role of the teacher is to teach the lessons, and the helper basic role is to help the teacher as well as help the children and make sure everyone is where they're supposed to be, having papers passed out, snack passed out, all those little sorts of details, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the overview of the classroom routine. So right now, this is how it is, but very soon this will change. So this is only for temporary uses, but basically the children go to worship with their parents in the main sanctuary. Before worship starts, preferably, they will be signed in at the little, there's like a little desk in the foyer where they can sign their children in. I prefer to have a volunteer standing there who is volunteering that day so that the teachers and the parents can meet and they know each other's faces. That's who my child's with. That's who the child belongs to, sort of a deal. Very important for new people coming in. And then the children go to worship. Once worship's over, usually Pastor Dan or Pastor Rob, whoever's doing announcements, releases the children, and they line up in the foyer. If they're being a little noisy, then I'll bring them outside to a wall by the youth room, and I'll make sure that every child is checked in who is written in. And if someone's there who's not supposed to be, I find their parent, have them sign them in. Or if they are signed in and they're not there, I try to find the child. So then we go to the classroom. All the kids know to sit down. And there's usually like a coloring sheet or Play-Doh, something to do with their hands while they're at the desk. The teacher then can pray and give her hat's over her head. One moment. Okay, so the teacher can pray and then do the lesson, just teach the lesson to the kids. Tops 15 minutes. I struggle with this a lot, but tops is 15 minutes because they need to have constant movement and structure in order to fully be engaged. So 10 minutes is usually a good average of talking. Then you can pray over have snack, or you can do an activity first. I'm okay if you switch it either way. There'll be more routine schedule once we have the new curriculum, but for now, there's usually an activity of some type, whether that's a craft or a game. Then we have snack, and then if there's time, we go on the playground. So that's one more point that I just remembered from the Q&A session. So going to the playground, right now it's fine, but the way that the new curriculum is set up, I'm so sorry about Asher. The way that the new curriculum is set up, I believe that there will be very limited time at the end of class to go on the playground, and I think that's a good thing because often when we go to the playground, it's very chaotic and it's hard for us to keep track of some of the kids, especially because it's not a fenced-in area. So there have been children that have escaped before, and we don't want that to happen. So I think in the future we won't be going on the playground, but for the time being, it's still an option. Especially because in the youth room, it's hard for the kids to sit still. It's, not a very inviting classroom right now. It's kind of a garage, lots of storage. Asher's tired of it too. So that's kind of the brief overview of the classroom. There's going to be signing in, worship with the adults, lining up, making sure they're supposed to be there. Yes, Bubby, I can hear you. And then there's going to be the lesson, the activity paired with the lesson, snack, and then more playing activity outside time. Again, if you have never done this before, I will gladly show you in person. This is just a brief overview of it. I think I'm about wrapped up here. I've never done this video with Asher before, so now I know that this is not the professional way to do it. But it's done, so thank you for watching this video. Oh no! Do you want to say goodbye to everybody? Here, you come and say goodbye. Okay, she wanted to say goodbye. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions, please email me, and I will get back to you with lots of answers. And if you have any recommendations for anything or any concerns, again, please contact me. Say bye-bye. Oh, now you don't have anything to say? Okay. Thanks, guys.